So today, this is the sweater that we'll be making. This is the finished product. I just finished it after making the tutorial with you guys. You're going to see how to do this step by step from beginning to end. It is quite simple. It sounds confusing to start with, but when you see how the top is set up to be the sleeves and the bottom is set up to be the bottom of the shirt, you'll see exactly how easy this is to create. So let's go ahead and get started. Hello and welcome back to Fantastic Fiber. Today I am doing a different kind of tutorial. First we're going to do the project and then we're going to look at it. So in the beginning of this you'll see a video clip of what it looks like, but that is after I've done it. So we're doing the original right here, right now. So for this project you're going to need stitch markers. I am using a J hook, 6mm, so you can use whatever size hook you're comfortable with using for a 4-weight yarn, because we will also be using a 4-weight. I am using Willow Yarns Dusk. It is 80% wool, 25% or 20% alpaca. It says it's a 4-weight. I think it's a little bit of a light 4-weight, but it is still 4-weight regardless. So this one's color is named Rouge, and I will also be using this green named Amazon Moss. Okay, so in these it's 3.5 ounces or 100 grams, 218 yards or 200 meters. Make sure that you have plenty enough to do the size that you are. This will be done for a size medium because that is what I am. I will give the measurements for whatever size you are so that you can do it according to your own size. Okay, so what we're going to do is create our slip knot. So for me, I go around the back of my hook. Okay, that's better. Nice and close. So I go around the back of my hook with the short end. Flip that over the front. Tuck it up in that loop there through the center like this, and then bring it back to the front and pull it tight. Then hold it however you would like to hold it and chain one like so and pull it tight. So for your measurement, you're going to measure your arms from wrist outstretched across your chest to the next wrist and check to see how long you are across the chest. So if these are your hands on each side of this hook, you're going to check from your wrist to your wrist straight across, and this panel is going to measure that. So if you take a peek at my chicken scratch, you're going to make 2 panels for the arms and 2 panels for the front and the back. Okay, so for the panels you're going to do any odd number from wrist to wrist. Any odd number. For your waist, you're going to measure yourself all the way around from one side, like take the measuring tape around from your belly button, go all the way around your body and come back to your belly button, and or the widest part of your waist actually is what you're going to want to check, is your widest section. And that's going to be your measurement. Divide that in half. So if it's 32, then you would cut it in half and it would be 16. So that's how long you would make your measurement for your panels. So we'll go over that again when we get to it. But for now, wrist to wrist, whatever your measurement is, you're going to chain an odd number all the way across. So we're going to go ahead and do that and start chaining. So for me, I'm going to be doing 175 chains because that's my medium size. Okay, so go ahead and start your chain and I will meet you at the end of however long your arms are. Okay, so here we are. I have crocheted in sections 25 chains, stitch marker, 25 chains, stitch marker, you get the gist, all the way to the end of my 175 chains, because that's what size I am. Okay, so now we've gotten here. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to yarn over, and we're going to turn into our very second chain from the hook. So not this one, we're going to skip that one, we're going to use it for height, and we're going to go directly into the next chain, and we are going to do a half double crochet like that. So yarn over, go into your chain, yarn over, come out of your chain, yarn over, and take off all 3 loops, just like that. And we're going to do that all the way down the entire length of the chain. Just a half double crochet all the way down to the very end. And I'll meet you there. Okay, so I've made it to the end of row 1. I'm going to place my last half double into that final stitch from our chain. Okay, and so that is 175 chains, which would be 174 half double crochet. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead, we're going to begin the repeat. So chain 1, turn your work, and now we're going to put 1 double crochet into this very first stitch here. So yarn over, insert your hook to the top post, yarn over, come back out, yarn over, take off just 2 loops, yarn over and take off the last 2 loops. Now we're going to go ahead and yarn over, and we're going to skip 2 half double crochet. So skip, skip, and we're going to go into this third one and do a double crochet. Well, kind of, we're going to half finish a double crochet. So come out and just stop there. Okay, yarn over, go back in, yarn over, come out, yarn over, take off 2. Now we're going to yarn over and take off the rest, just like that. And then we're going to chain 2 like that, and right back into the same stitch. We're going to yarn over and make another stitch just like that one. So grab your yarn, come on out, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, go back in, yarn over, come on out, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, and take off all 3 of those. So we're making a stitch just like that. Okay, so now we're going to yarn over, we're going to skip 2 and go into the third, and we're going to do that again. So yarn over, come out, grab some more yarn from over here, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, go back in, yarn over, come out, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, and take off those last 3. Okay, now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to yarn over and do that again right into the same space here. So take off 2, yarn over, go in, yarn over, come out, yarn over, take off 2. So now you have 3 there, yarn over and take off all 3. And again, we're going to just go ahead and keep doing that until the end. I'll do another 2 with you. Yarn over, skip, skip, go into that third one there, into the top post, yarn over, come out. Oops, I did not go in the top post. So we're not going under all the way. We're going into the top post right here, so that when you look at the very top of it, you just see those 2 like chain looking things right there on your hook. Then yarn over and come back out of there. Yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, go back in, yarn over, come out, yarn over, take off 2, oops, not 3. Make sure you have 3 on your hook, yarn over and take off all 3. Chain 2, yarn over, go back in, yarn over, come out, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, go back in, yarn over, come back out, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 3. And we're going to go ahead and do that all the way across to the very end, and I will meet you there. Okay, so I've made it to the end. This is what it's looking like. Okay, and you can see I still have my stitch markers on there, and I'm only keeping them on there for now because I'm going to need to find the center of this anyway. So that's later on though. So for right now, this is what it's looking like. Row 1 and row 1 of the repeat, which is row 2. So at the end, you should have 3 left. So yarn over and put a double crochet in that very last stitch there. Skip those 2 and 1 double crochet. Yarn over, and we're going to basically do the same thing, except we're going to be working into the chain spaces now. So let's take a look at what we're doing. Yarn over, go into the top post of this double crochet and place another double crochet on top of it, like that. Okay, now we're going to go to the chain space here, and we're going to yarn over, and we're going to place the same stitch. I don't know if that's a shell. You guys tell me, you know, like, I just kind of learned how to crochet. I don't really know the names of things. I'm learning that stuff as I'm going. So, is that a shell stitch, a V stitch, double V stitch, cluster? Anyway, chain 2, yarn over, and go directly back into that chain 2 space and finish the stitch like that. Okay, so now we're going to yarn over and do it again. So go in, yarn over, come out, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2. I'm sorry, yarn over, come out, yarn over, take off 2. And then yarn over and take off all 3. Chain 2. Let's do it again. Yarn over, go in, yarn over, come out, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, go in, yarn over, come out, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off all 3. So you see what we're doing there, and you see how it's separating the previous row, so you're going to have that nice open kind of lacy texture going on. Okay, so we're going to do that all the way across. So yarn over, go into the next one, chain space, yarn over, come out, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, go in, yarn over, come out, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 3. Okay, let's keep it going. Chain 2, yarn over, go in, yarn over, come out, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, go in, yarn over, come out, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off the last 3. And do that all the way across until you come to the end of the length of your sleeve. Okay, so I've made it to the end of the row again. We're going to put our last double crochet in the last stitch there. Chain 1, turn your work, and repeat that all over again. Now you're going to, if you're following along for a medium, you're going to go ahead and, well, for any size actually, you're going to measure your chest line from your collarbone to wherever you'd like the top of the shirt to stop. So if you'd like a little bit further down of the laciness, then go ahead and make it a level or 2 higher, or low, yeah, higher. If you would like the panel to come up higher, to cover more of, like, say, the breast area or above the breast area, you can crochet this just a little bit shorter, 1 or 2 rows. Okay, so also now when you're making your measurements, also measure your armpit in the widest part of your arm. You're going to measure all the way around the circumference of your arm to make sure that this is the right height to wrap around your arm from front to back. So it's going to be the circumference of your arm, the whole thing all the way around, divided by 2, and then sewn together with the front panel and the back panel together, because you're going to make 2 panels. Okay, so for this part I am going to be changing colors to Amazon Moss. It is the same yarn, everything about it is the same, same weight, everything else, just different color. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to use this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make a slip knot again. So take your short end, wrap it around the back end of your hook, flip it over the top, tuck it up in the loop that's in the center there, bring it back to the front, pull it snug, and then go ahead and chain 1 and pull it tight. Okay? Okay, so you're going to start with your slip knot again. And so for this portion, you're going to measure, like I said earlier, around your belly button, or the widest part of your waist. So if you sink in more in the middle, go to the part that sticks out more. So the widest part of your waist, measure it all the way around, and then divide that number in half. So if it says 36, you're going to want to crochet a measurement of 18 inches by another panel that's also 18 inches. Or if you like it a little baggier, you might want to go 18.5 to 19 inches just to give yourself a little wiggle room. So measure yourself, bring it to the looseness that you like it, and divide that number in half. And you're going to go ahead and make a chain that length. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to just go back over the chain and complete the entire panel for the height that you need it to be. So from the bottom of your waist or the top of your hips, wherever the length you like yours to be, all the way up to the top of your bosom, to where the height of it should fall for you. So that's what we're going to do. So go ahead and yarn over, and we're going to go ahead and skip the very first chain and go into the second one from the hook. Yarn over, come out, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, nope, I'm going to do half doubles. So yarn over and take them all off like that. And we're going to do that all the way across. So yarn over, go into the back bump, yarn over, come out, yarn over, take off all 3. Yarn over, go into the back bump, yarn over, come out, yarn over, take off all 4, all the way, or all 3, I'm sorry, all the way to the end, and I will meet you there. Okay, so I've made it to the end, and so I'm gonna secure that last stitch in there at the very end. Make sure you don't forget it. Chain 1, turn your work, and we are going to do the exact same thing in the top post of every stitch. So into the top post, make a half double crochet into every top post, 1 half double crochet all the way across. That simple, okay? Till it's the height that you want yours to be. Oh, and so for mine, since it is a medium, my desired height will be 13 inches tall from the bottom of the waistline to the top. So it'll be 13 inches. Okay, so here we are with our panels all the way finished. Now I took it upon myself to sew one side before I realized that I got to show you guys how to do it. So this is the outside. This is the way that it lines up. And if you flip it to the inside, you'll see the seam there. Okay, so there's the seam, and I'm going to show you how I did that. Okay, so here we are. My hook is already, yarn is already attached to the hook, I should say, not my hook. Alright, so what I do is I match up the corners. So this is the corner of panel number 1. And this is the corner of panel number 2. And so I just slip into the top post, and if I can grab the yarn, slip into the top post and put a slip stitch in there. to attach the yarn. If I can get it, that would be helpful. In here, in here. There we go. There we go. And so now we're going to work down the side like this. Now you can sew it together any way you want, but I slip stitch all the way down. So here on this side, and there in the same spot on the other side. And you can see that it matches. Slip stitch. Same thing. Here and here. Nice loose slip stitch. Okay. Here on this side. And here. Oops. My goodness, it's usually so much faster than that. There we go. Went right through both. Here on that side. And that's how we're going to do it all the way down, making sure that you're slip stitching in the same spot on both sides all the way down. Okay? And I will meet you at the end, and we will learn how to attach our sleeves at the same time. Okay, so now we have both sides sewn together, and we have something of what looks like a tube top. Now this is how I secure mine. I keep the other end there, throw it to the back. I yarn over and just do 2 chains and tighten them down. And then let's grab our handy dandy scissors, take a little snippet, and I just leave it long enough to tie these 2 ends together. So just tie the 2 of them together, and that kind of like gives it a little bit of a neater edge, in my opinion. I think so. So then that's how that goes. Now we're going to attach the sleeves to this. So I'm going to show you how that's done in just a second. Alright, so here we go. We are looking at our project completely flat and inside out. So you want your seams showing on the outside. Okay? Then we're going to lay our first sleeve over top and match up the center. So how do you find the center? Well, for me, I have my stitch markers on there already that tell me where everything is. So this is my center 25. So all I have to do, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab our stitch marker and we're going to count to the center. Now this is my center 25, like I was already saying, and so we're going to count to where the center of it is. So I like to find number 13 and put the stitch marker on number 13. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Number 13 right here. And then on my top, on my bottom portion in the green section, I do not have stitch markers on there stating the length. So what I'm going to do is just count to the center, and I want you to do the same thing, and I will meet you with your stitch marker already inserted in the center of the top portion of this bottom of the sweater. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to adjust you down some. So this is the center of both panels. I put the yellow one to mark where the yellow stitch marker is for the one sleeve. And then I put, thank you, love.
You're welcome.
Then I put the purple stitch marker with the purple stitch marker so that those two can go together. So then all you have to do is put a stitch marker, count your stitches outward from this stitch marker to the edge. So from this stitch marker to the edge of where the two panels were put together and mark those same amount of stitches to a stitch marker on the other side. So we're going to go ahead and do that now on both sides. So whatever you do for the left side, you're going to do for the right side. Okay? Okay, so here we are with the centers attached here and here. The side of it attached here and here. So the sleeve will be this portion here and this portion here. Okay, so and then up here is the neckline. So we're going to sew the top together and leave the center here open. So let's go ahead and get started on the end. Okay, so for the neckline, real quick before I forget, is how I did it is I measured from the two that are in the center, the 25 stitches here, and the 25 stitches that are here. I measured it by going straight up to the top of the row that it's on. So this is in the center, this one here. So I'm going to follow that all the way up to that center and put a stitch marker right there. And then we're going to do that on the other side as well. Follow it straight up as the center, and then make sure that when you flip it over, you do the same thing. Just use the same stitch marker. Let's see if I can get that to focus again. There we go. All right, so here it is. All right, we're going to go on the outside, follow it straight up, and put our stitch marker there. Same with this side. Here's the stitch marker at the bottom. We're going to follow that spacing all the way up, and we're going to just make sure that we have the same amount of clusters on each side of the sleeve. So, of each side of the stitch marker on each sleeve. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 over here. All right, so we're just going to make sure they're all the same, and we're going to adjust accordingly. Okay, so I counted from the stitch marker, and I counted how many of these little clusters I would have on each sleeve from the neckline stitch marker to the end of the sleeve. And for me, for my count, it should be 24 on each side. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and showing you how to sew this up. Okay, so here we are at the end of the sleeve with our corners met together. We're going to go ahead and make a slip knot however you do yours, and I will make mine this way, and then I'm going to place my hook into the corner of each one of these sleeve ends, and I'm going to attach my yarn just like that, and we're going to go down each stitch and sew this together. Now, like I said, if you like to sew with a sewing needle instead of with the crochet hook, you can go ahead and do that. This is just how I attach mine together. I crochet it together all the way. So slip stitching, making sure that each stitch matches up from the front to the back so that they stay together until you get to the center of your where it meets up to the actual shirt. So we're going to go ahead and do this all the way across. Remember, don't make it too tight. You don't want it snug, or else it'll snug up the sleeve. And I will meet you when you get to your stitch marker where you meet up at the shirt. Okay? I'll see you there. Okay, so as you can see, we have this all nice and seamed up, and I've made it over here where it meets to the bottom portion of the green. So now what I'm going to do is, instead of going through all of them, I'm going to remove just this one blue stitch marker, and what I'm going to do is just attach my yarn up here onto the green, and then separate that pink and the bottom green, and only go in through the next stitch of the top portion of that sleeve. Okay, and then just right there, I like to kind of give it a nice little stitch and a knot, and it kind of holds it nice and snug together. And then we're going to continue on by marking, or by stitching our pink to the green, our sleeves to the shirt portion, and we're just going to stitch that all the way across until we get to the next sleeve, and then I'll show you how to pick it back up and continue on. So I've sewn all the way across, and I've made it back to the other armpit, you might as well say. And now we're going to transition from going with the pink and the green to the pink alone again. So get that final stitch on there, like so, and then come over here and push that stitch marker back there, and just go straight into the next set of stitches and get that out of there. It doesn't want to leave. It's okay, we got it. There we go. And so now we are going to go ahead and just go right back into sewing these together, just like you did on the other side, putting the sleeves together until we get to the end. Now make sure that you match stitch for stitch, because when you get to the end, you want to make sure that the sleeves match up corner to corner. Okay? And I will see you down at the end. Okay, so I've come to the end of the sleeve, and so what I'm going to do is put that last stitch right here in the final end of this sleeve. Sorry. Tighten it. Leave yourself a tail. And where's my scissors? Okay. Oops. There we go. And snip that off. And that's how you attach the bottom of the sleeve, the bottom of the sleeve to the top of the shirt. So I tie that together like I did on the other end. And I like to give it a little snug tug in the opposite direction as well, just like that. And then I'll trim these off, okay? So now what we're going to do is go on the other side and attach the same way. And when you're finished with that, we will attach the top portion to create the neckline and sleeves. Finish them off, okay? Okay, so I've got my yarn attached to my hook. We're going to go ahead, and what I like to do is insert my hook directly into the last place that the pink met up with the green. So I'll hook in there. And slip stitch it into place. It doesn't want to go into place easily. My yarn is splitting. You guys, you love when that happens, don't you? When your yarn starts splitting. And there we go. Okay. So now we are going to go ahead, and like I said, we're going to slip stitch all the way across, just like this, into the very next space, stitch space. We're just going to slip stitch across the whole back of this shirt, or front of the shirt, whichever you decide it to be. They should be the same, the front and the back. Okay, all the way across till you reach the other armpit, and then we will secure it together. Okay, so we have the back of it completely sewn up. It is attached into the armpit, and the stitch from the back of the shirt overlaps with the front of the shirt. So it is completely finished on the bottom portion of the arm. Now we are going to go ahead to the top portion of the arm. We're going to attach the corners together and sew along the top until we get to the neckline. Okay, and I will show you how to do that in just a second. Okay, here we are, and we are going to go into this corner, top post, and into the top post of this corner here. We're going to slip stitch that together just like that and secure it. And now we are going to go ahead and we are going to make this a little bit of a lacy top. So we're going to chain 2, and then in the chain 2 space of this stitch here, you're going to slip stitch into that, and then chain 2, slip stitch here, because we don't want it to be a thick putting together. So chain 2, and we're going to go into that chain 2 space here, chain 2, into this stitch here, chain 2, and we're going to keep doing that all the way down, and make sure that whatever you do on the front, you're doing in the back too. So we're going into this space here, into that space there, just like that. Slip stitch, chain 2, and then into the top post of this stitch here, like so. And you're going to make it all the way across like that, and I will meet you at the neckline. Okay, so here I am at the stitch marker for the neckline, and what I'm going to do is I am at the peak here. I am going to chain 2. I'm going to move over into the area where the stitch marker is, and I'm going to secure it there and pull it tight. And that's where I'm going to leave that, and we are going to go ahead and cut that off of there. Where is my scissors? There they are. We're going to cut that where it is, and we're going to move over to the other side for the other top portion of the sleeve and copy exactly what we did, and I will meet you back at the neckline. All right, once again, I've made it to the stitch marker. I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to stitch one final stitch right here next to the stitch marker, and I'm going to secure that, trim it, and turn this shirt right side out, because we are finished, guys. Trim off your edges, take off your stitch markers, and try your shirt on and see how it fits you. Let's go ahead and see how mine. So this is what it looks like. I hope that you enjoyed making this sweater, and I hope that you enjoy wearing it as well. I know that the sleeves are belled, but not everybody likes the tapered sleeves. Not everybody likes the bell sleeves, so you decide which way you like to have it, and maybe you can figure out how to taper them in and tell me how that's done. Okay, so enjoy, and thank you for watching. Yeah.